Please join me for the pledge and continue standing for our national anthem. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Please bow your heads with me as I pray. Dear Heavenly Father, please give grace and courage to us as we greet this special time of graduation. We thank you for protecting and guiding us to this point. We ask that you inspire us to put to good use all the knowledge, skills, and life lessons gained through our education. A chapter has closed, and we seniors eagerly anticipate the next one. Pave our road with opportunities and inspire us to live with hope in this incredible journey called life. Continue to bless us with love, protection, mercy, strength, and wisdom. May we live passionately to honor and glorify your name. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. I want to welcome you to Vernon High School's graduation ceremony and take a moment to recognize some very special guests that share the field with us tonight. First, we have this evening your superintendent of schools, Mr. Joseph Taylor. Followed by our school board members, beginning with Mr. Milton Brown, Mr. Will Palmer Taylor, Miss Susan Roberts, Mr. Van Brock, and our Madam Chairperson, Dr. Lou Cleveland. I also want to recognize a very special guest this evening in the crowd, our past superintendent of schools and longtime Vernon High School principal, Mr. Jerry Tyre. Next, we have our assistant principal, Dr. Charles Peterson. Our guidance counselor, Mr. Lee Richards. And our Vernon Middle School assistant principal, Mrs. Becky Dixon. We have our 4 senior sponsors also on the field with us this evening. First, we have Miss Monica Hood, Mr. Thomas Register, Miss Melissa Carter, and sadly, for one final time before her retirement, Miss Sally Brock. To my left is a faculty and staff collectively representing all three of our Vernon schools who absolutely have no equal. Students, I need you to stand at this moment and you give these teachers a deserving round. In addition to this stellar faculty and staff, you can see, your parents, your uncles, your aunts, your grandparents, loved ones, guardians are also equally responsible for your success. Both groups have poured their heart and soul into your education. Let's give them also a deserving round of applause. Now, students, for your part. Let me begin by telling you I'm so very proud of each of you. It's truly been an honor and a privilege to serve you these last 4 years. However, I am also deeply saddened at this time to be addressing you as your principal and you as my student for the final time. In a few short moments, we'll recognize each of you on this field. We'll assemble one last time as a student body, and you'll soon receive your diploma. You will become a 2019 graduate of Vernon High School. I'll also remind you of this. That's a distinction that can never be taken from you. It will never expire and absolutely last from this day forward. Students, as we approach this very day, I couldn't quit thinking about a phrase that kind of kept coming to me, and that was, but we're all still here. You see, we experienced a little hurricane named Michael. It was one of the most powerful storms in recorded history, but we are still here. It was believed to even be a Category 4, Category 4 recently upgraded to a Category 5, but we're still here. There's one thing that I learned throughout everything that seemed to happen through Hurricane Michael, and that's the power of tapping into the inherent good that lies in each of us. Even through the tragedies of Hurricane Michael, we all got to see this firsthand. We lived through it. Some of us are even still dealing with its impact today. But we as a community witnessed that there's a whole lot of good left in this world. There's a whole lot of positivity. There's a whole lot of people out there who truly care about their fellow human. And to me, that's what gives us great hope. That gives us excitement because we can tap into that. And there are so many beautiful things we can accomplish together. And yet, we are still here. So here's my challenge to you as a graduate of Vernon High School class of 2019, who is stronger than any Category 5 storm. You guys have all done incredible things, and you're going to go on and do even more incredible things. And you are still here. So what I challenge you to do is help bring out that inherent good in everyone around you. Help continue to be the positive light. Help to be that person that everybody wants to be around, and contribute to making this place even better. I wish you the very best in all your future holds, and know we are very proud of you and love you very much. Thank you. Next, we have our welcoming address from Mr. Lance Newcomb, 2019 class president.
I'm a little nervous, so bear with me. Alrighty. Welcome all parents, loved ones, students, and staff to the class of 2019 graduation ceremony. We have been thinking of this day since elementary school, and it's finally here. I'm so very proud of each and every one of you. We did it. Tonight, I'd like to talk to you guys about being bold. The definition for bold is showing an ability to take risks, being confident and courageous. I'm sure many of us have had courageous and bold moments. For example, blowing out Chipley in the regular season and then doing it to them again in the playoffs, which, let me say, was awesome. I think being bold is an asset we will all need in the years ahead. Soon, we will be going into college or straight into the workforce, and we will not have our friends by our sides anymore. Most of us will be alone and rightfully nervous. In these moments, as we go open the next chapter of our lives, I challenge every one of you to be bold, to take risks and try new things. Every single one of you have the ability to be great, so be it. We should all feel courageous going into this next chapter because Hebrews 13:6 says, so that we may boldly say, "The Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do to me." Don't ever look back. Instead, stay focused on your goals and dreams. We all have the ability to live an amazing life. Like the poet and lyrical genius of our generation, Drake, once said, "Life is amazing, it is what it should be." You are all so smart and awesome. I am honored to be your president. I'd like for you all to know that whatever you can do, you can set your mind to. And that no matter where you go, God will always be with you. Thank you, class of 2019, for making these last 4 years the best of my life. I can't wait to see what the future holds for us. To close this speech, I have one more thing to ask of you all. Class of 2019, give me a woo.
Next, Miss Lena Bush.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Well, class of 2019, we did it. We made it to the day that most of us have been looking forward to our entire lives. Thank you to all the parents, grandparents, and other family members for pushing us to get where we are today. Thank you as well to the faculty and staff that have taught us and encouraged us throughout school. And most importantly, I'd like to say thank you to God. Without him, none of us would be here in this moment today. I'd like to take a day to all of my fellow seniors. Always remember that God will be there for you through everything, whether you realize it or not. He will love you in the best moments of your life, and he will love you in the darkest moments of your life. In those dark moments and in the trials that we all face at some point, you can always rely on his guidance to get you through. So as we leave here and begin the next chapter of our lives, put God first in your life, and everything else will perfectly fall into place. As this day has approached, I've been thinking a lot about the future, as I'm sure many of you have, but I've also been thinking a lot about the past. All of the memories that we've made, from playing on the playground and having field day in elementary school, to the numerous AR trips and the Washington, D.C. trip in middle school, to all the Friday night lights and the fun times spent riding around with friends since we could finally drive, and the many jacket hours spent in my mom's room in high school. I thought about all the schoolwork we've had to do over the years and the last-minute homework that thankfully our wonderful friends and classmates reminded us about. I thought about all the times that people told me how fast high school would go by, me just shrugging it off like, yeah, right, it's going to take forever. But now I realize, as I stand in front of all of you, it didn't take forever. Some of the most wonderful years of my life just flew by. It has been hard to realize that all of this, the day-to-day routine that we have been doing our whole lives, is coming to an end. Though this realization is sad, it also brings a feeling of achievement, like, wow, we really did it, and a feeling of excitement for what the future holds in store for each of us. On this day, looking out on all of you, I see the pride in your eyes, the hope in your hearts, and the plans for glory in your minds. I see in all of us success stories. I see people who are going to go out in the world and impact it in the greatest ways. I just want to say to you all that I hope as we go throughout life, we hold on to the memories, the things we've learned, and the wonderful experiences that Vernon High School has given us. We should stay close to each other as the years go by and not let our 5-year reunion be the next time some of us see each other. I encourage each one of you to make your future what you want it and to never give up on your hopes and dreams. I encourage you to shoot for the stars in everything you do and always do what makes you happy, as long as it fits in God's plan. I encourage all of you to put God first and to always remember the things we've learned over the years at Vernon. I will always have a special place in my heart for Vernon and my fellow classmates, our small, close-knit, successful class of 2019. I love you guys. The future is in our hands. Thank you.
Next, Mr. Demetrius Walston.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Where to begin? Well, I'm not class president, vice president, or secretary. I'm just D. Walston. But I didn't know I was going to give a speech until about 2 days ago, and here I am. Let me start from the time that I moved here. Because Vernon is such a small school, every time a new kid moves in, everybody wants to meet them. Especially those from the opposite sex. Anyways, when I moved here in the 8th grade, I wasn't expecting much. I came from a big school in Panama City. When I found out that I was moving to a small school in the country, I expected to see only rednecks with missing teeth. With the exception of a couple, most of them were not. After about 2 weeks and many faces, I learned just about everybody's names. A lot of stuff that I'm about to point out, I've never said anything about, and maybe a little personal, but nothing too personal, I promise. For example, before school started, my 8th grade year, I came to summer football tryouts with Coach Vernon. And I remember sitting in my mom's truck, and I'm watching the kids run around before practice started. And the first thing that I see is River Bay Singers' long hair. And I say to my mom, I'm like, hey Mom, they must suck because they let girls play on the football team. That was before I knew River. Then I got out the truck finally, and the first person that I met at Vernon High School was Garrett Coleman. Garrett, you want to wave? Yep. Garrett finally told me his name, and I immediately forgot it and started calling him River. This is because the second person that I met, River Bay Singer, I started calling you Garrett because you told me your name and I forgot. I did that for about 2 weeks until I realized that I had my name switched up. The next person that I met was Cody Hagan, who gave me my nickname D because Demetrius was too long to pronounce or remember. And then the next people that I meet was Joseph Jenkins and Tyler Oakley. You guys want to wave? Those guys were two goofballs from the get-go. Little did I know that I was going to spend the next 5 years with these guys. Then school started, and I met many new faces, like my buddy Lance Newcomb. Where you at? Give me a wave. There you are. My buddy Lance Newcomb and Cameron McKinney. I don't remember how we met, but I do remember the spark of our friendship. We three and another friend of ours, Christian Proctor, wherever you're at, bud. We were all in English class, second period. And this unexplainable event happened where we just look at each other and laugh at literally nothing. This was also the first time that we got in trouble together. Little did I know that I was going to spend the next 5 years with you guys. The first girl I met was on the bus, Shanna Ray Sheffield. Boy, I did not know what I was getting into about the But God, am I thankful I did. I know I can always trust you, and that you understand things that I've been through like nobody else could. But just think, if it wasn't for a bus ride introduction, we wouldn't be the people we are today. The first girl I met in school was Faith Baxter, this prom queen herself. Where are you at? I don't remember how we met either, but I do remember getting in my craziest stunts in middle school. For example, homecoming, gender bender day, where I was little Debbie Snack and you were gender bender king. And you got me to wear your sparkly black dress and twerk in front of the whole middle school. Before I end, I want to do a couple more shout-outs to some girls that were nice to me whenever I wasn't the nicest to begin with. Kirsten Seal. Thank you for being there for me. I remember you telling me that most new people that move to Vernon you typically hated, but I was one that you could stand. Araya Myers. You were always so chill, and you were cool with everything. You also had many problems. But I love that you came to me to confide me with your problems and trust me for advice. Lena Bush. I cannot stress enough how important you are in my life. I will forever love and be grateful for everything you do. Mr. Revere, Officer Jenkins, Miss Brock, and Coach Richards. You guys helped me through so much in my life, and I can never repay you guys. We gained so many memories from middle school AR field trips to high school beta conventions, from middle school football games to high school football games. Speaking of which, this football season was great. Not only was beating Chipley like the first time, and I don't remember how long they said, just like astonishing. And we went to the third round of the playoffs. There's just so many memories in football season alone. Nick and Nico Campbell, where you guys at? There you are. River, Basinger, Joseph Jenkins, and Tyler Owen, seniors on the football team. You guys are my family and will always be my brothers. Class of 2019, you guys will forever be my family. If any of you get stuck, drifting, get stuck in a ditch, get stuck in life, get stuck in anything, hit me up. I'll be there. Love you guys forever.
Next, before we present our diplomas, I do have a couple categories of students we want to recognize. First, students who earn the academic standing of summa cum laude, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Our next category are students who earn the academic standing of magna cum laude. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Now students who either dual enrolled at the Florida Panhandle Technical College, Chipola College, or Gulf Coast State College, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Our next category are students who earned one or more industry certifications while enrolled at Vernon High School. Please stand. Thank you. Next, we do have some students that won't get much time between now and enjoying their graduation and time with their friends and being deployed. So students that have enlisted in the military and ship out in a few short days, please stand. Thank you. And lastly, our 13-year students who have attended Vernon schools all 13 years of your schooling career, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. And our final group, students that did not earn a certificate of completion but earned a high school diploma tonight, please stand. Very well done. Thank you. You may be seated. Next, we will begin our diploma presentation. First row, please stand. First, Miss Lena Elise Bush. Next, Miss Caitlin Marie Smith. Miss Morgan Lee Dale. Mr. River Chance Basinger. Miss Kayla Ann Brock. Miss Sarah Elizabeth Smith. Mr. Timothy Matthew York. Miss Megan Ruth McDonald. Miss Shannaray Eileen Sheffield. Miss Sage Adina Cox. Mr. Cameron Bryce McKinney. Mr. Demetrius Emmanuel Walston. First row, you may be seated. Second row, please stand. Mr. Jonathan Wyatt Adams. Mr. Clayton Lamar Goswick. Miss Alexis Ann Barfield. Miss Faith Tonette Baxley. Miss Nicole Devonna Bell. Mr. Christian Dwayne Bowers. Mr. Tyrese Emmanuel Broxton. Miss Erica Michelle Buckby. Miss Micaiah Chandre Campbell. Mr. Nicholas Nakel Campbell. Mr. Nico Latroy Campbell. Mr. William Luther Capps. Second row, you may be seated. Third row, please stand. Mr. Jody Ali Castrina. Mr. Jacob Dylan Clements. Mr. Garrett Quavel Coleman. Mr. Tyler Matthew Coltrane. Miss Carmen Athena Compton. Mr. Marius J. Dumas. Mr. Zachary Levon Emery. Mr. Robert Dwayne Eastep. Miss Morgan Lane Finch. Miss Lacey Rose Fowler. Mr. Jackson Lee Haddock. Miss Brandy Kaylon Hargrove. Third row, you may be seated. Fourth row, please stand. Mr. Maurice Garcia Hargrove. Mr. Silas Jerome Holly. Mr. Dalen Jamar Hubbard. Mr. Joseph Connor Jenkins. Mr. Jamie Tyler Jones. Miss Natalie Lavon Kennedy. Mr. Cade Eric Colmetz. Mr. Nicholas Alastair Krause. Miss Jabrona Monique Lee. Miss Aniko Lene McFather. Miss Araya Sway Meyer. Mr. Lance Matthew Newcomb. Fourth row, you may be seated. Fifth row, please stand. Mr. Tyler Robert Ogie. Miss Courtney April Parks. Miss Kaya Leigh Philpott. Mr. Sean William Presley. Miss Madison Mackenzie Reedus. Miss Kirsten Lillian Seal. Miss Marissa Allison White. Miss Mercedes Christine Sill. Miss Whitney Elisa Smith. Miss Lillian Marie Pearl Spicer. Miss Nora Grace Strickland. Mr. Ivan Glenn Taylor. And Mr. Winston Lucas Walsingham. Final row, you may be seated. Next, we have our class song presented by Mr. Demetrius Walston and Mr. Lance Newcomb.
Restart, wrong verse. I was young and so confused, and time stood still, and love was all we knew. You were the first, so was I. Made love, and then you cried.
Remember when we went off the wall and gave our hearts, we made the start, and it was hard. We lived and learned, life through curves. There was joy and there was her. Remember when?
Remember when old died and new were born, and life was changed. This is sin rearranged. We came together, fell apart. We broke each other's hearts. Remember when?
Remember when the sound of little feet was our music. We danced from week to week, brought back the love we found, trust, vow we never give it up. Remember when?
It seems so old, and now looking back, it's just a stepping stone from where we are, where we've been. Said we do it all again. Remember when? Remember when? We said when we turn gray, when the children grow up and move away, we won't be sad, we'll be glad for all the life we've had, and we'll remember when. Remember when. I believe there's one more thing to be said. Lance?
Please count.
Students and guests, if you would please stand at this time for the singing of our alma mater, and then our closing remarks from your Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Taylor. Class of 2019, family members, supporters, faculty, staff, everyone, for the participation here tonight, for what this means, for everything that y'all are, that's what we are. You know, you have heard several times about, now that you're a member of the Jacket family, you're there forever, and that is true. You have a foundation, you have an education. What you do from this moment on is what you do. We can give you that, and never be taken from you, and you can build off that, and I hope you do each and every day. You've also heard of the foundation of what our beliefs are. Yet that foundation is even more important. You heard one of the singers quoted up here. I'll also quote you a philosopher. Everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth. And it will come to you, I promise. It's not a threat, it's a lie. You have to be able to be ready. You have to be able to go with it and go forward with things. I've heard several things this evening that's pretty funny to me. And you have to understand, when Mr. Tyre being here, it keeps me under check. Mr. Tyre was my principal 40 years ago. In 40 years, you will look at Mr. and be very, very respectful of Mr. Revere.
As you know, he knows exactly what you're saying. Mr. Kelly Brock was my superintendent of schools. He is not that his son is here standing as a school board member. He is another one I had to mind my P's and Q's about. You cheer about the victories over Chipley. During my high school career, we were 0-4. So there wasn't a whole lot of speaking during those 4 years about it. But these are things that you need to take with you. You need to be proud. You need to think at your graduation, hey, it's okay for somebody to do calisthenics. It's okay for us to sing through all of your life. Never forget how to do it. Highly, highly important. But like I said, as you go forward, and the second foundation, not only the education that we give you, but that you have through salvation, is most important of all, because you will need that, I promise you. Now, by the power invested in me by the state of Florida and the Washington County School District, I now pronounce you graduates of Vernon.